Nez Nation, it's story time today in this video, but first, if you want to learn and discover who you truly are by understanding mindset shifts, mindset training, understanding what is the difference between who you are not, and videos on communication, storytelling, please click that subscribe button right now so you can always be notified. We are busting out new videos every single week. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that is so vital for you to come up with great ideas, to understand who you are, to better make sense out of things when things go wrong, and to have better communication skills and just an overall healthy balance of this dude and this dude. We're talking about the difference between being alone and being lonely. There's a huge difference here. I had a very interesting thing happen to me recently. I was taking my family to the park, driving in our beautiful minivan, which I actually love. I never thought I would ever say those words ever, Nez Nation. And we stopped to get some Starbucks, to get some coffee, and my wife, was like, I'm going to take Sam in, our son. I was staying in the car because, when you have a 3-year-old daughter, it's almost impossible to get them in and out of a car with any sense of ease whatsoever. That's for the parents out there. I didn't bring my phone with me, and it was one of those moments where I was kind of like a little anxietal. I was like, oh my God, I don't have my phone. What the hell am I going to do? Who am I? What am I going to do? So here I am sitting in the car. I don't have my device. I don't have any distraction. And I just did what I think something that our ancestors, something that our, predecessors did before us that I think really enabled them to really be in touch with things about themselves that I don't see really currently happening in the 21st century. I have a lot of students. I teach a lot of writing classes, communication classes. And the thing that I notice most, probably the common denominator that I see amongst my students is this sort of inability to really trust oneself, this inability to really formulate thoughts and to really understand themselves in a more clarified manner and understand their environment, their purpose, their vision, and what's happening in their current culture. And I think that this is something that was just beautiful. So I'm sitting there in the van, and I just happen to be doing the one thing that we can all do, which is absolutely free. I just started observing and started watching and just quietly looking around and being immersed in my environment. And I noticed really a lot of interesting things. There was a man with his son having lunch at the local Subway on his device. A couple of teenagers sitting at a table nearby, all on their devices. Everybody who walked in and out of the Starbucks clutching their smart device or tablet as if it was life itself, as if they didn't, have that firm grip on that device, everything would just, be annihilated. This is not one of those videos, not judging anybody who, I hear all this kind of, Simon Sinek talks about it and other thought leaders talk about it. Yes, I see that, but this is not one of those videos. I'm on my phone all the time. Everybody's on their phone all the time. This is what happens. But I do think that it is important. I do think that it is imperative that once in a blue moon, maybe more than once in a blue moon, how many blue moons are there? I have no idea. That you actually detach and I think spend a little bit of time with yourself in order to be really somebody who is able to be alone. Everything would just sort of dissipate. And it was such an interesting thing. And that moment, that 15 minutes, 20 minutes of waiting in the car, waiting for my wife to come back with my son, really is the sort of impetus for this video, because it's something I used to do all the time, which is spend some time in solitude, unplug once in a while, get away from all the noise, get away from all of the devices, all of the pixelated sort of realities that we are constantly, incessantly exposed to and connected with, and really just watch, just look, take a look around, breathe, be a human being, don't expect anything. Just sit there and just watch and allow ideas, allow for things to sort of formulate on their own. I wrote a book about this called The Artist, And I really think it's the kind of the really main, common denominator that I find amongst all artists is this ability to really be in sync with their environment, to be able to go into solitude, able to go into a sanctuary of their own design where they can get away from everything and just really kind of have almost like a love affair with their own kind of self in the non-mushiest way possible. Get those dirty thoughts out of your head, Nez Nation. And just really kind of sit there and just be. It's not the end of the world. And beautiful things start to happen. Things that you would never, ever be exposed to or ever really realize. Because ideas and thoughts are really strange, funky things. Creativity is a very, very subtle mistress. And she likes to come at often the most odd times, and she doesn't really come quietly, and she doesn't come loudly either, which doesn't make really any sense. So this idea of really being alone versus being lonely, I think this relates to I think this helps you with your relationships. This helps you at your work. This helps you in times of struggle and strife. This helps you kind of understand social kind of dynamics as well. And really overall communication skills and social skills. I could, without a shadow of doubt, say very confidently that it was in those times where I literally just went by myself and I completely detached from everything. I detached from the day-to-day grind. I detached from everything that was, sort of keeping me sort of occupied. Took a really good book, went down to the beach or a park and just literally just sat and just really allowed life to kind of unfold effortlessly and just observed and ruminated and loafed, and just really relaxed into things. And you'll be amazed. I would love your feedback. Try this out. I'm going to kind of lay this out for you right now, Nez Nation. Please try this out. Turn your phone off. Don't bring anything with you. Don't call a friend, especially if you're feeling like there's some things bubbling up and there's some sort of anxieties, insecurities, frustrations happening in your life. This is the best thing to do. It's the best remedy. You don't need Nez Nation. You don't need Professor Nez. You don't need any of these videos. You don't need any of my courses. This is the best remedy, period. Go try this out. I would love your feedback. Just go by yourself. Go by yourself. And anywhere where there's a little bit of privacy, where there's little to none distractions. I like parks and nature and the beach, but whatever you feel is sort of relative to that, or whatever is similar to that, and just literally just be there. Stare at clouds. Stare at nothing. Breathe, just be. Bring a book if you have to. I would say maybe even start without a book. Just go there and just watch. Don't take a nap or anything. I mean, if you need rest, take a nap. But really this is a sobering thing. I want sober viewing, sober observation. Get in touch with those feelings. Allow the anxieties, allow the fears, allow the doubts to just breathe without interacting with them. Just be. Doing this once in a while and, just really, it's called self-care, really. It's self-healing. It's a beautiful thing. You become more comfortable being alone and you'll never be lonely. There's a huge difference between being alone and lonely, okay? Lonely people always need somebody around them. They always need attention. They're so uncomfortable in their own skin. They're so disoriented when they're by themselves and they really don't know what to do with themselves and all these. They're afraid of themselves, really. There's this huge fear of, gosh, I'm nothing. All those questions start to come in, all those sort of thoughts and ideas, thoughts that have always been there that really need hashing out, are just waiting to bubble up, or just waiting to come down, drip and drop down and really make you frown, right? I did not intend for that to rhyme at all. It was completely unintentional. Genius! If you can be alone, you'll never be lonely, and being alone is a beautiful thing. Okay, people, actually, if you're interested in really being this, individual who's able to attract others, have socially dynamic relationships that are really involved and empowering and fruitful, The people who are really the best at this, the people who are the most adept at those kinds of skills, are the people who are able to really not be clingy and not be so in need of attention, constant attention. Okay, it's the people who are comfortable in their own skin. It's the people who are okay with not being in the foreground of every situation. It's the people who have no problem, okay, no problem if you give them attention or not. Those are the most attractive people. It's really the irony, the paradox, of having powerful social relationships is your ability to be alone, be comfortable in your own body, in your own skin. There's a difference between being alone and lonely. Lonely people have absolutely zero desire to be by themselves. You know those people, Nez Nation, they call you up for anything, right? They constantly want you to come hang out with them. I used to have a friend, literally, I'm not even kidding you. I used to have a friend call me and say, hey, what's up, dude? I'm going to get a haircut. Want to come? No, I don't want to come. I'm not going to come and watch you have a haircut. Hey, I'm going to Target to get some deodorant. Hey, bro, I'm actually, I'm going to go run some errands today. Want to come? No, I don't want to come. Go run your errands. Be alone. I got shit to do. What's wrong with you? No, I got shit to do. I have a life too. I'm not going to just sit there and watch you get, a mohawk. That ain't happening. Be aware of this dynamic. You might be one of these people, okay? And if you're not aware of that, believe me, everybody else around you is. And they may not tell you straight up to your face, but I am. It's time to spend some time alone. It's time to learn. The more you do it, okay, and do it when you're the least comfortable doing it, keep doing it. Just like everything else, the more it becomes like this real comfortable jacket, that you wear. And you don't need anybody. It's when you don't need anybody that the right people show up. It's when you don't need anybody that everybody's wanting to be around you. But when you are putting out that vibe, you putting out that energy that I need, I can't stand being alone because I feel lonely, it's bad boogie, Nez Nation. Bad boogie. There's a difference between being alone and lonely. People who can be alone have a really mighty source, a sanctuary, a reservoir of power that most people maybe probably don't, especially in this device-dependent culture. For you guys, I want to hear your feedback so badly. Please leave comments. Let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you tried this out. Let me know if there's any videos you'd like Professor Nez to produce for you. So Nez, if you've ever done a video on this, I'd really like to learn this. I would do it all for you, Nez Nation. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.